Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to the REIA Rico April Meeting. Thank you all for coming. It's so great to see everyone here. If you want to keep mingling, maybe go to the back so the people who came here to get some information and get some education and learn can hear the speakers. We have a really great lineup tonight because we're going to have a market overview. We're going to have some forced networking, which is one of my favorite things. And then we are going to have attorney Giovanni Mendez. I'm going to do a Q&A interview, fireside chat with him. So, let me get started. I also want to tell you, if you have not been here before, the bathrooms, you go over there and you go through like a bunch of corridors and you go through a little maze and you'll find them at the very end. So don't let that intimidate you. We do have bathrooms. I just want to introduce myself for the people that don't know me. My name is Catherine Morea, and I am a real estate investor, longtime investor, landlord, Airbnb host, and I moved to Puerto Rico in November 2020. I'm actually also an agent with eXp Realty, and I decided to come to Puerto Rico, and it's been really fun and really interesting, and I've met so many great people here, and I realized there was not an in-person meeting for real estate. Coming from Los Angeles, there were lots and lots of meetings, and it was a great way to connect with people and also with vendors. It was a way to get deals, it was a way to partner on deals, and I really believe in cooperation and collaboration. So I wanted to put together this meeting so people can share the deals if they want to share a deal, find other people who are like-minded, and really help Puerto Rico grow and recover from the hurricanes and everything else. So that's why I'm doing it. And I have tonight a very special friend of mine who is from Puerto Rico, and he's with a company called Life Afar. And if you haven't heard of them or what they're doing, you should check it out because they have some really cool projects going on. So he's going to give a market update and talk a little bit about the news in Puerto Rico and what's going on right now. So let me introduce Felix Barreras.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, guys, welcome to REIA Rico. So, this is my third time doing the event. The way that I do this market updates is I give a little bit of news on good things that are happening in Puerto Rico or things that you should be aware of or are interesting. So the first article I found that was pretty interesting that came out, I think, last week was Lights, Camera, Action for Puerto Rico. So this related to the cinematography industry here in the island. So just to tell you a little bit about it, there's currently 39 cinematic projects scheduled from June 2020 to June 2021. Projects are estimated to inject around 155 million into the local economy, with a multiplier effect of around 260 million. From June 2020 to June 2021, and in spite of the COVID-19 pandemic, film productions will create around 4,500 direct jobs with an estimated 2,700 days of filming and around 14,000 hotel room nights with the 39 projects. Movie producers in the island come through the PDIC, which is the Film Industry Development Program, which is regulated by Act 60, which I think all of us are pretty familiar with it. The program obviously seeks to promote Puerto Rico as a filming destination, in addition to promoting and exporting local products. The program used to have a 50 million cap for the incentives, which has been turned down to 38 million, but obviously depending on how it goes this year, they might put it at 100 million cap. So let's keep watching that. HUD accelerates, so the Department of Housing accelerates access to Puerto Rico for 8.2 billion in disaster relief funds. So the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or also known as HUD, has announced the obligation of $8.2 billion in Community Development Block Grant Mitigation, also known as CBDG MIT, funds for Puerto Rico, along with the removal of a lot of restrictions that we got to get access to the CBDG DR funds that were allocated after Hurricane Maria. So these restrictions, which were established by the previous administration, the Trump administration, are now removed by the Department of Housing. And pretty much what this does is, we're not going to be doing like the incremental grant obligations or tranche structures or reviewed by the Federal Financial Monitor. So this removes the requirements for Puerto Rico to request and submit any certification, observations, and recommendations by the Financial Oversight Board, or La Junta. The Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery, or CBDG-DR funds, enable grantees to address significant unmet needs for long-term recovery, including the disaster relief, long-term recovery, restoration of infrastructure, housing, and economic revitalization. Meanwhile, the CBDG MIT funds impact recent disasters to carry out strategic and high-impact activities to mitigate disaster risk and reduce future losses. Now, this one's pretty interesting. Puerto Rico, the top destination with the highest travel interest year to date. So for all of those of you that have Airbnbs or anything like that in Puerto Rico related to hospitality, you'll be very happy with this. Puerto Rico is the fastest growing destination in the world. According to recent travel search data calculated by Destination Insights with Google, which monitors travel trends, Puerto Rico is the top destination country with the highest travel interest in the world for the period between January 1st and April 7, 2021. These findings are obviously consistent with the data compiled by Discover Puerto Rico, which is the island's DMO, or District Destination Marketing Organization. Indicates that the island tourism industry is obviously seeing clear signs of recovery following the impact of COVID-19. So just to give you a little bit of an example, for the week ending April 3rd, hotel occupancy in Puerto Rico was at 83.1, nearly triple the occupancy at the start of the year, and the highest week ending, so the highest since March 17, 2019, when the occupancy was at 84%. So we're kind of reaching the levels of 2019 again. Currently, bookings through the end of the fiscal year are exceeding that of the record-setting pace of 2019, when the destination saw its highest numbers in tourism, and more specifically, lodging revenue. So very good news about Puerto Rico and how we're doing in tourism. The other one, this is interesting. Luma breaks ground on a $10 million training facility in Canóvanas. To all those of you that are not familiar with Luma, they're the ones that are taking charge of the electrical power authority system in Puerto Rico. So Luma Energy company executives and government officials broke ground on the new future Luma College for Technical Training. Assessments, onboarding, and workforce development are already underway at the Luma College site, which will become fully operational in phases over the next few months to train the Puerto Rico-based technical workers. These ones will contribute to the transformation of the island's electric power transmission and also the distribution system. The Luma College is a value-add project from Luma Energy, the company that, again, will be operating Puerto Rico's transmission and distribution system for the next 15 years through a public-private partnership with the government of Puerto Rico. The college, which is built on a 24-acre lot in San Isidro Industrial Park in Canóvanas, will have around 50 jobs created during the construction phase. This will include an outdoor training yard, learning lab, classrooms, administrative offices, equipment, and obviously parking lots. The project is also modeled after the Northwest Lineman College, which is a leading technical training institution run by Quanta Services, which is the parent company of Luma Energy. And they have 4 campuses across the United States. The first class of 16 employees will receive full scholarship from Luma at the Luma College, founded by its parent companies. And that's about it, guys. So thank you very much for listening to the market update, and I'll give it over to Zachary. Thank you, guys. Oh, sorry, Catherine.
It's a moving target. Thank you, Felix. There are so many exciting things happening here, and that's why I love it. There's like all this energy and all these beautiful programs that are coming up. I'd like to talk to you more about the Canovenus one. I'm interested in that area. So I'm going to do a little thing that I like to call forced networking. And this is actually one of my favorite things. Sometimes people don't go up to strangers and talk to them and get to meet people. They kind of stick to the group that they know and the people that they've already met. So I like to do something to kind of force people to get out of their shell.